Henry Ford, who invented the automobile. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off the goal. From Martin Luther King Jr. Our very survival depends on our ability to stay awake, to adjust to new ideas, to remain vigilant, and to face the challenge of change. Albert Einstein. It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with the problems longer. And then, of course, from Master, the bludgeon of circumstances may bleed you, but keep your head unbowed. Death and the attempt to succeed is success. Refuse to harbor the consciousness of defeat. Remain ever calm within. Another from Master, your thoughts will inevitably bring you either to failure or success, according to which thought is the strongest. And finally, your success in life, from Master, does not depend only upon natural ability. It also depends upon your determination to grasp the opportunity that is presented to you. Opportunities in life come by creation, not by chance. Wow, that's very powerful. We had a Kriya Bond retreat over this past weekend here in India, in Pune. And what a powerful weekend that was. There were 4 days. Many souls came. I think, I don't know, 60, 70, something like that. But every day chanting together, every day meditating together, every day doing Kriya, every day singing together, kirtans, 2 classes daily. So much inspiration. We were filled with God's love, God's power. We were purified. We were uplifted. We were inspired. We did our Kriyas better, all of that. And it just reminded me that when we're in the aura of the gurus, when we're in their grace and their power, I mean, everybody looked different from when they came. Maybe they have worries, problems, maybe they were up against some obstacles, some challenges. But by the end, people were just so sure, they had faith in God. They were clinging to God and Guru. They were clinging to the practice. And I just thought, this is how you overcome obstacles. Be in the Sangha, be with the Guru Bhais, do your practices, read the books, all the things we talk about. Come to things. When Master said there were 2 disciples that he told to come to see him, one always came and one never came. And he said the one who never came was bogging down. He said he doesn't know why, but it's because he doesn't come. He's not in the aura. Master's given us so much to do. If we can do those things and stay within his vibrations, obstacle comes, difficulties come, but they don't knock us over as they could if we're not in the center of the energy of God and gurus. And so things will happen. It's a part of life that there are obstacles, that there are difficulties, there are things. But what do they give us? Master said, they're only opportunities, not obstacles. And that conditions are neutral. It depends on how you see it, sadly, or you see it in a good way. And so what are opportunities? What are the opportunities we get from an obstacle? I was thinking about that. Well, you get the opportunity to burn up karma. Why not? You get the opportunity to get strength in yourself. You get the opportunity to be more in tune with God and gurus. You get the opportunity also to uplift your energy, to get more focus, to get more clarity, to become more energetic, to become more magnetic, to be able to to raise your energy, to be able to see super consciously, to find solutions, answers to problems. The conscious mind, Swamiji said, is problem oriented. This problem, that worry, this wrong, that wrong. If you can lift up, which we do with all of our practices, we see things from a higher view. We look down upon what is happening to us. We see the solutions, we see the answers, we get the guidance, we get our intuition, we have wisdom, we are in tune with God and gurus. And so this is what we do. We have the opportunity to get more in tune. When an obstacle comes, you can go down, you can go up. Master's given us everything we need to go up with it and to grow from it and to get rid of karma and old habits and attachments and desires and all the things that hold us back from God. This is why these opportunities come. So we could even say from birth, there's obstacles. From birth, just being born is an obstacle. You can say learning how to walk, learning how to talk, going to school for your first day of school, then getting to the university, and then having a relationship, getting married, having children. You can say the whole of life is a big obstacle course. Or you can say, no, I came here to learn lessons. Life is about learning. Life is about learning lessons. Life is about growth. I'm here to grow. I'm here to get out of old habits. I'm here to get out of old ways of thinking, stagnation, old thoughts. Master called, he said, some people become psychological antiques. They're always, this is how I've always done it. This is how I wanted to. Divine Mother will give you a test, and she'll get you out of that unless you start getting yourself out of it through all the things we have. And I think as we do these, at least I've seen, is that maybe something will come. It does come, not maybe, but it doesn't hit you as hard. It's not as big of a challenge because you're bigger than the problem. You're bigger than the obstacle. You're bigger than the thing that has been the test that has come to you. And so I was thinking about when we can get stronger, like they say about hothouse plants, that they're all protected, they're inside, they're given lots of nourishment and, whatever, and they grow big. But the plants that are outside, they've said that they're much stronger. They last longer because they've been in the wind and the rain. They've been through the drought or the whatever is happening outside. Those plants are strong. They can take it. The hothouse plants, they're just like, just been taken care of too much. I remember when I was growing up, I lived in a very, it was a rough neighborhood. I mean, there were drugs, there was violence, there was all kinds of things going on. I was never touched. I was protected. And we've got to realize we are protected as we practice more and more. And I wasn't practicing then, but who knows how many lifetimes we've been practicing and with Master. So nothing ever happened to me. I just was unscathed. And I remember telling Swamiji about my upbringing and where I used to live in Los Angeles. And he said, that was good for your character. Now, what did he mean? That you got strong. You weren't a hothouse plant. You were strong in yourself just from that upbringing. Then I remember I went to university, and I went from not a good school to a great university because of affirmative action. And so I got in there in the very first quarter, because I was an A student. I thought, well, I'll just keep making A's. And boy, I was landed on my face. Whoa, that was tough. The very first quarter, I took a science requirement. And in that at the midterm, I came out with an F, the first F I ever had in my life. I just wasn't going to accept that. I mean, that was a big obstacle. The other kids were going at the midterm. They were going off skiing and visiting their families. And I went to the library. And that was the very first quarter of my college. And my college time, I had a half-time job, 4 hours a day. I went to classes, and then, I hardly slept because I wasn't going to flunk out of that school. I said, I know I can learn. I will learn. I wasn't on the path yet outwardly, but in my heart I was. That's where I learned willpower. So I spent hours and hours at the library. And then what happened was the final came. And that was one of the biggest tests of my life. Are you going to flunk out of school? It took you so long to get, so many things to get here and grants and everything. And so then I just, I've got to do it. I've got to do it. I just kept putting in my will. That's where I learned willpower and energy and magnetism and focus and clarity. And on that final, I did the best I could. And then afterwards, in the middle of the night, I was at home in my bed and I went, oh my God, I didn't put my name on the paper. I was so nervous. And the next day I went to the TA's office, teacher's assistant, and I said, I had written in red ink, thank God. And why I wrote in red ink, only God knows. So when I said, I didn't put my name on, but mine is in red ink. And there were stacks of papers. This was pre-computer time and nobody had laptops in. And so I saw my paper there and he saw it and it had A. I was so happy. Why was I happy? I was happy because I faced that challenge and I won it. My energy from then was so high. 4 years, I worked that hard in school and university to get out of that school. I couldn't wait to get out of there, but I worked so hard. And within a year, I met Swamiji. What does that tell you? I had to have that obstacle to lift up, to be able to get on the path. And this is why Divine Mother gives us these tests and obstacles. So what do we do when a challenge comes, when a test comes? We don't fall apart. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And I see people doing I don't know what to do. What am I going to do? You would think they didn't even have any tools on the path, but we have so many. So what do? First thing, pray to God, meditate, pray to God, offer yourself, offer the problem, tell Divine Mother, I want to do what's right. You have to help me, guide me, give me the ideas. I'm going to work for it. I'm happy to do it. Instead of, why did you give me a test? Just say, I'm strong enough to do it. I will do it. And ask Divine Mother's blessings on whatever it is. First of all, go to God. Go to God. Go to gurus. Offer yourself. Offer the children. Offer your job. Offer your finances, whatever it is, and say, I'm willing to do it. Just guide me. Guide me. And Swamiji said when there was a fire at Ananda and one of the temples burned down, that he said, I just went to Divine Mother. I said, I've given you everything. Are you displeased? I've given you everything I've had. And he said he felt Divine Mother's peace and joy just flooding his whole consciousness. He was weeping for joy. And he says, well, if I'm going to feel this much joy, why didn't you take all the other buildings? Of course, he was kidding, but still, you can ask Divine Mother and try to feel she's with you. Master's with you. They want to help you through the challenge. 25% you have to do. 25% Guru helps you. 50% God gives you. 75% is there just from your efforts. Secondly, use the practices. Why do we have so many? Start doing affirmations. Pick out an affirmation. Start doing super conscious living exercise. I'm awake and ready. Do yoga postures. Do more energization. Pump the energy in. And if you have more energy, the consciousness rises. You can raise the consciousness, but meditation, of course, but get more energy, get more magnetic, get in the spine. And so do the practices, Om technique, do more Kriyas, do Hong Sa in the spine, all the practices. Look up at the spiritual eye, ask Divine Mother, what should I do? And then feel in the heart. And then the third thing is do something. I want to say do anything, but that's not the right thing, but do something to get the energy moving. People are too analytical. They sit there and think about it forever and they're not doing anything. Get up, do something, start going in the direction that seems right. Like Swamiji said, once there was a lien put on Ananda village, meaning they were going to take the property because they couldn't pay the bills. This was way back in the beginning. And Swamiji said that he heard that news and he was with some friends and they said, oh, let's go home, come home with us and we can make tea and sit and have some tea. He says, I don't want any tea. I want to know what to do. And he started thinking about solutions and well, he started calling people and getting donations and trying to figure out what to do. Not, oh, I just want to drink a cup of tea and sit on the couch. And I see that's what people do. You have to get in gear, get moving. And he was able to save Ananda at that point from moving. And I remember once we were in Italy trying to start our European work, and we didn't really have anything. I mean, we didn't have, nobody was coming. There wasn't any funding from Ananda to help us there. I mean, we were barely having good meals there, honestly. And I remember Swamiji just said, just get going, just think about what you're going to do and start. And don't sit there thinking about it. He said, get going. And then I remember somebody showed up, and we started doing little things, selling this and making little things. And then this lady showed up with a sewing machine, and I knew I could sew, and she could sew too. So we started making meditation cushions. I mean, this was a thought from Master and Divine Mother. We made the most beautiful meditation cushions. We made meditation asanas. We made different things for meditation. We had the best cushions in Europe, I would say, and the best asanas. We started this huge business that went all over Europe from just that thought. An obstacle of what are we going to do to save Ananda in Europe? And it was the first year of that work, in 1984. And now look at it, it's been there so 40 years. But it had an obstacle to be able to lift up. And finally, I'll give one other example, because I know people go through relationship problems and you're just so upset about this and that person hurt you, and everybody's been hurt in one way or another. Relationships are difficult, like Swamiji was just saying. And I remember one time I had a lot of pain in my heart from betrayal. And this was in America and on the village. And I just thought, I'll never get out of that. I just will never get out. And you know that mantra, I'll never get out of it. It's not a good mantra. You put it in God's hands and say, Master, I want to get out of it. I don't want to have these feelings. Help me to get out of it. Then you have to follow the guru. You can't just keep holding back. So I remember this particular time I was asked to be on a speaker's panel for a class at Ananda Village some years back. And so after, during a class, you feel so uplifted and so filled of light and joy and the Master's presence and all. So after the class, I saw this person who had really hurt me some years back. And I thought, I don't know if I'm going to go over there. You know how it comes. And I just thought, no, Master wants me to go and say hello. So I went to one friend and I said, I think I should go say hello. And they said, really? You don't want to do that. And so then I went to, I remember Devi Ji, and I said, I think I should go say hello because I don't want to harbor this ill feeling. And she says, I'll come with you. What a beautiful soul. I'll come with you. I went over there because I was so high from the class and the practices and Kriya and everything and all the guru buys there and everything. I went over, I said hello, it just wasn't a big deal. And I tell you, after that, I could have started levitating. I don't levitate, but I just felt so free. That was a big piece of karma that fell off. I'm just telling you, as you face these difficulties, you face the obstacle, you face the test, and it takes time. It's not like every day you can go and do something difficult, but once I did that, I felt so free. And I felt Master so happy. And I felt Swamiji, I told Swamiji, and he said, I'm just so happy to hear this. And so go in the right direction. Don't keep holding back. And you'll find that, how was I able to do that? God's power. God's power. Just think, God's power. I want to end with this great story from this book, Conversations with Yogananda. The Master told this little known story of the meeting between Swami Shankaracharya and Babaji, whom Shankaracharya eventually accepted as his guru. Babaji was living in a home in Benares when Shankaracharya visited the city. Shankara was at the time a famous astrologer. Babaji's manservant went therefore to visit him. He received from Shankara the shocking news that that very night it was his destiny to die. In fear and trembling on his return, he approached Babaji with the news. Go back, said Babaji, and say to him that you will not die tonight. The servant carried this reply back to Swami Shankara, who affirmed, this karma is so fixed that you should, if you survive it, I shall go to your master and ask him to accept me as his disciple. That night, a terrible thunderstorm lashed the city. Lightning struck everywhere. It felled trees all around the house where Babaji lived. The great master stretched himself out over the servant's body to protect him. When morning came, the servant was still alive. He then went and presented himself to Shankara. The Swami was amazed, realizing that he had encountered a power much greater than his own. He went to Babaji and took initiation into Kriya Yoga. What a great story. Nitendra, I'll ask you to join me on screen.
Thank you so much, Dhyanaji. We have a few questions. The first one, Dhyanaji, is that Master said living for God is martyrdom. So what does that mean?
Getting rid of the ego, getting rid of your own desires, your own attachments. I want to do that. I want to do that. Isn't that why we have a guru? Remember, Swamiji said those, Master said those words to Swamiji. Swamiji said, I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to write. I don't really want it. Master said, well, you may as well learn to like it. You have to do it for lecturing specifically. And then he said, finding God is martyrdom. So it means death to your little self and bringing your higher self to life. That's what it means.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. Just two more questions quickly. The first is, saints and masters sometimes go through so much suffering and tests, and they also do austere practices. But we don't do here at Ananda. So is our path different?
Master said, when God gives more, take it. And we're in the lifetime where he's given more. We're not standing on one leg forever, wearing a hair shirt, scratching our chest, or going through long fasts. Remember, Swamiji had one of the monks, I think it was, I'm not sure which one, but he wanted him to go on a grape fast, all grapes and grape juice. Master said, listen, a pure heart is more important than a pure stomach. And so our path isn't austerities. It isn't doing all those things. We can't, maybe we've done them before, but in this life, we're following what Master did. And he had some austerities, but he did not have the disciples doing those things. He gave the path that is for Dwapara Yuga and for where we're living in the city. I'm not going to go around with my arm up for 24 hours and, living in Delhi. And so Lahiri Mahashaya was the model example. He kept his job, he's kept his family, he had children, and he practiced Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga is what Swamiji called it, a magic wand. It'll change your karma without the austerities.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. Just one last question. So sometimes it seems like I'll never get free from tests, problems, and perhaps sufferings. And then sometimes I also feel that God isn't there. So the question is God really helping us, and are the gurus, and how can we know that?
I think you might have test consciousness, that everything is a test. Why not change that to thank you, God? Thank you for showing me I need to change. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to raise my energy. Thank you for helping me to be able to be stronger. Thank you for I rather change it to gratitude. Thank you. It's your karma, is not Divine Mother's karma. It's not Master's karma, it's your own. And so thank you for getting me more free. Thank you for helping me get rid of my karma. Thank you for giving me 75%. Master and Divine Mother, turn it around. Instead of, I got a test. Master said, people would say, karma, karma, my karma. He said, I'm sick of hearing that. I want to hear people say, look at the good things. Look at what you have. Look at the techniques. Look at the practices. Look at all the centers you can go to. Look at your guru buys. Look at all the fantastic books. Look at all the talks you have. Look at all the, oh my God. I mean, really, people might be waiting for a better lifetime. I'm going to say, when? When can it be better than this one? I mean, really. And we came with Master, look at all the gurus. Are they not behind us? Is Swamiji not with us? I would say this lifetime, go for it. And forget the worry consciousness and go for God. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Natendra. Bye-bye.